I'm Charlotte Seid, manager of the Benthic Invertebrate Collection, and this is Life in Jars. Everyone behaving?
Looking good.
I think there's an unfair stereotype of museums as these dusty, stagnant places where things go to die, but in reality they're absolutely vibrant, dynamic. I'm getting new material every day, shipping material. There's so much in and out exchange of both physical material and ideas. The collection is priceless in that it's a temporal archive. You cannot pay money to travel back to 1902 and see what the oceans were like. That's absolutely priceless. The time series, the species that may or may not still be with us, species that have yet to be discovered, and their connections to human health, conservation, art, as well as science. This is a squat lobster, a little crab-like crustacean that's been a superstar of a recent art project. When we visit the mural of the Rosebud Whalefall by local artist Tanya Young, you'll see this crab featured. This specimen was requested not only for artistic purposes, but by a scientist, a world expert on squat lobsters, who examined it and its relatives and will describe it as a new species called Munidopsis gurgisi. This is an absolutely tiny worm with potentially big implications for human health. It's a small species of feather duster worm known to harbor parasites that affect salmon, fish, and their relatives in the Pacific Northwest, which turns out to be a different species from the ones found on the American East Coast. It's important to realize that they're different worms in terms of managing the parasite, managing the salmon, and of course the economic and cultural implications of these fish for humans. These are sand crabs or mole crabs collected from the beaches of Oregon. They're part of the biogeographic story of how this species may relate to climate change. We see these mole crabs quite often here off San Diego, but they're less common up north, and as the oceans warm, potentially they could find their way further north as permanent populations. A naive visitor to the collection, or maybe even a child, might see these as simply pickled dead things. Ew, why do I want these jars? Well, I'd encourage our visitors to see the pickled dead things as also animals who had individual lives. They grew up, they reproduced, they had a role to play in the oceans that are a part of our interdependence as humans. And they're also examples of their species, their relatives, the great evolutionary story, the story of our planet. Much as I hate to think about ever giving up this job, I won't be here forever, and thinking about what I would leave to the next person, I'd like to say a spirit of improvisation is really important, rolling with the next technological developments, adapting to new potential uses of the collection. Again, being open, being humble to whatever the scientific, conservation, art, and human communities need from us.